Hey, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be. This is another severe weather briefing on this early Tuesday morning. And as I making this video right now, it is currently 8:25 a.m. Central Time here in Central Texas. And the newest models just came out. And just like we talked about yesterday, things are continuing to just get worse, right? So the last couple events that we have been covering, at least back on April 14th, April 15th, when we had that dry line setup where we were supposed to have robust supercell convection and everything like that, it was more of a conditional threat, basically saying, hey, if all the ingredients are right, we're going to have a huge severe weather outbreak. And I think this setup coming up for this Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and potentially Monday, yes, an absolute marathon of a storm chasing week, most likely, is going to be unfolding across the central U.S. And I don't think this one is going to be conditional. I'm going to explain why. I think that the potential for a severe weather outbreak is definitely a lot more higher with this setup that we've seen so far this year for a severe weather season. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into the models and kind of go over what the SPC has outlined so far, because today has also ramped up a little bit as well. All right, and jumping over to the SPC for today, April 23rd on this Tuesday. We now have a slight risk for severe weather for portions of North Texas, almost going up into the Panhandle, really just to the east of Lubbock and north of Abilene, and then just to the west of Wichita Falls area. I don't see any tornado potential with this really, and it's going to be a very, very brief window, and I'll kind of show y'all that on the HRRR here in a second. But we do now have a 10% hatched area for significant large hail ranging in 2+ inches in diameter. So if you're in this area, North Texas today, later on this afternoon, definitely watch out because some potential golf balls and baseballs are not out of the question just north of Abilene. And we do have that 15% non-hatched area for damaging winds as well in excess of over 50 knots. Like I said, tornado pretty low, pretty low. I don't think we're going to see any tornadoes today, not just yet as of now. But we're going to go ahead and jump over to the HRRR. So let's go over there and take a look at those models for today. All right, jumping over to the high resolution rapid refresh model. And this is going to kind of show and display our, maybe one or two discrete cells in northern Texas later on today. And you can kind of see that as we move in time here. This is roughly about 5 p.m. Central Time, Tuesday, April 23rd, right? And we got a little bit of convection going over here, just south of the Lubbock area, north of Lubbock, heading into the Abilene area where we have that risk that I just showed y'all and outlined. And we can continue moving this forward. And I want to say right about probably 6 p.m. to 7 p.m., we kind of get this little one cell just north of Abilene. I don't think it's going to be anything major. We might get one severe thunderstorm warning up here that's producing very, very significant hail, and really everything kind of dies off by 9, 10 o'clock. So definitely not anything to be majorly concerned about today. Definitely, like I said, if you live in this area, protect your cars, put them in garages. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump over to long range models and look at this bigger severe weather event and why I think it's going to be a lot more robust than the previous ones. All right, folks, jumping over to the GFS global anomalies. This is really going to help us kind of depict where our, storm systems are really at and what we could be looking at for the future. And we can kind of take this in time again to roughly, I want to say about Friday. This is 1 in the morning. We've got a 991 millibar low pressure system sitting over roughly Kansas and Nebraska. And we can continue pushing this forward. And I mean, y'all can see it definitely gets a little bit lower than what it was showing yesterday on the models, down to a 985 now. Which in this case, like I said, isn't going to make too much of a big difference. I think that we are definitely going to see a potential, like I said, I don't want to call it too early, but maybe a potential moderate risk appear. I don't want to scare anybody, but a lot of the models do look concerning. So I just want to put that out there and make sure everyone is definitely aware of the possibility that significant, violent tornadoes are not out of the question, as from what we're seeing so far in the models, and we can continue to progress this forward. This is on Saturday, and it goes into Sunday, and we have that next system that builds in, right? We have another low pressure system, a 994 low level pressure system that kind of builds in, and it's really not until we get to the later half of, or the early first half of May, I want to say about May 4th to May 5th, where we have this ridge trying to build in, right? Where we kind of maybe get a break, possibly, before everything just completely takes off again. But that's like really far out, so we're not going to touch base on that too much. But we can clearly see it notated if we go over here for the SPC. For Wednesday, marginal risk. This is going to be mainly for wind and hail, no tornado risk as of now, but I don't think it's really going to. This is really not going to be the main event. The main event's really going to start unfolding on Thursday, right? Where we have this slight risk. And if we go over here, we can see that the probability we have this black hatch area. You may be asking, well, what's this black hatch area for? This is outlined by the SPC for significant weather, meaning that obviously it's still too late to tell to go into detail. Is it going to be a significant for wind? Is it going to be significant for hail? Or is it going to be significant for tornadoes? I don't think that this is going to be outlined for significant tornadoes just yet. Not until we get over to, I want to say, Friday. Now, this day is definitely look more concerning. Friday is always continued to be a little more robust and concerning out of all the days, and it's really going to come down to the kinematics and how everything is just kind of unfolding on Friday. I think it's going to kind of be a Thursday and Friday time frame. Only reason I say that is because I think it's going to be an overnight event that's going to kind of go into Friday, and that's kind of why it's outlined like that. But you can see, we have that day 5, and then we have it now today, a day 6 outlook. I mean, 4 to 5 days of back-to-back severe weather. It just doesn't stop. Mother Nature's not happy, and she's going to continue not to be happy. But let's go ahead and jump over to some other models and take a look at dew points, CAPE, convective available potential energy, and see what these storms are really going to be working with. All right, jumping over to the 850 millibar wind speed with height. And you can see I'm going to stop this here. This is roughly Thursday, April 25th at 10 p.m. And we've got just insane winds just streaming across the plains, right? I mean, some areas 57 knots. And this is more than substantial for severe thunderstorms get going in rotation as well for tornadoes. And we can continue taking this on Friday. It just continues to strengthen. 64 not low level jet, and it's one of those, it's going to be one of those days where you're going to go outside. We're probably most likely not going to have a lot of convection out in front of these storms. So it's going to be sunny. It's going to be one of those days where you can, you're going to be able to tell like something's in the air, something's not right. It's going to be one of those days. And we continue pushing this forward into Friday, 4 p.m. Let's go ahead and go over to Saturday to the next day, because it kind of dies off really in the afternoon. So I think we're going to have a lull. It's not going to be obviously like nonstop severe weather, even though some of the areas are back-to-back severe weather every single day. You're obviously going to have that lull in the severe weather until the next system comes in. So let us go ahead to Saturday. This is Saturday. Again, it looks like a lot of these storm systems, unfortunately, want to start taking place at nighttime, and that is just the absolute worst time. So this is roughly about 1 a.m. Sunday. 1 a.m. Sunday, and we've got a 63 low-level jet, right, sitting over Oklahoma, and it just continues to build. I mean, just one storm system after another. So like I said, I'm showing y'all this because I want y'all to be prepared. I want y'all to know what's coming. I'm not showing y'all this to scare y'all and hype anything up. I'm simply relating the information that I am seeing and letting y'all know of all the possibilities, right? The worst, the best possibility, and the most likely possibility. And I think the most likely possibility is we're definitely going to see enhanced risk no matter what. Some areas most likely are going to see tornadoes, I can almost say that with 100% confidence at this point with what we're seeing on the models. And we can go over to 850 millibar potential. Sorry, guys, my allergies is absolutely insane today. Sorry if I sound a little bit congested. We can jump over to the 850 millibar temperature anomalies here, and this is going to kind of help us really, kind of depict where the warm air is, aside from the surface, because when it comes to the surface, it doesn't really give a good representation of where the placement of the warm and cold air is. So you got to go a little bit further up in the atmosphere so you can really get a clearer picture on where those masses are at. And we can go ahead and push this into time frame on, let's go to about 1 p.m. Thursday. You can really see this warm air surging in here into the panhandle of Texas, Colorado, Kansas. And this is all, just surging in all this energy, getting ready for the severe weather event going into Thursday night and Friday. And you can see it just continues to build. Let's go ahead and push this into Saturday. Continues to build again, going into Sunday. And you can see it just keeps rebuilding, and eventually it will get pushed out. It will get pushed out of the way, and we'll kind of have a break in the lull. Let's go ahead and jump over to one of the other models here. All right, jumping over to surface CAPE, convective available potential energy. And so this is, like I said before, this is going to kind of show how much energy is in the atmosphere for these storms to feed off, right? They need food just like we need food and water to prosper and grow. If we don't have food or water, then we're going to get really sick and we're just going to die out here. So, we're going to start with today, roughly about 7 p.m. since we have that slight risk today. And you can see we have about 2,000 actually joules per kilogram of surface cape here in the areas where those storms are going to be firing off. So plenty of energy. You can kind of see this hole, and that's probably that one cell kind of eating up that energy. So that's interesting there. It's kind of cool that you can actually see little bits and pieces taken out where the storm development was. Because if we go back and look in the HRRR model, right, we'll go back to, let's see, roughly about 7, 8 p.m., right? 7 p.m., 8 p.m., storm up here. We go back to surface cape, which is, like I said, food for the thunderstorms. And you can see around that time, if we go back here, a little bit of hole in here. So it's kind of eating away at that energy. So I just thought that was an interesting, I'd point out. We can continue taking this forward into our main event beginning Thursday. And this is 1 p.m. on Thursday, and Cape values are already climbing up over 2,200 joules per kilogram. And mind you, you only need about 1,000 to 1,500 joules per kilogram for thunderstorms, right? For severe thunderstorms at that. So, we have plenty of energy and plenty of moisture in kinematics in the air for these thunderstorms to prosper and grow. And by the time we get to 4 p.m., we're looking at almost 3,000 joules per kilogram of cape. I mean, stretching all the way into central Kansas. So I think, like I said, Thursday going into Friday is going to definitely be one of those main days as of now that we got to watch. Pushing 3,000 joules per kilogram by 7 p.m. in Kansas. Let's go ahead and take this over to Friday. 4 p.m. starts building back in 3,000. And we can also go, let's see here. This is definitely ramped up since the last model. And they've always, and the thing about Saturday is it's always kind of been showing that concerning time frame. So if we go over to Thursday, Friday, Saturday, so here, day 5 outlook, right? Day 5 outlook by the SPC. If we kind of see where they have it outlined for the Dallas area, Abilene area, which obviously location is not going to matter. We'll switch around and move a little bit, but you can kind of see the area, and we kind of go back to our cape where our convective build potential energy. And I'm going to stop it here at 4 p.m. on Saturday, April 27th. And you can see in this area where they've already got it outlined. I mean, we're talking as of now, and the models have been consistent. The previous models, it's been shown on this day just insane amount of capes, which capes obviously is not the only ingredient, we need to just look at to base severe weather, but it's definitely an important one, right? Because everything, you can have the moisture, you can have the winds, you can have everything else, but if you don't have energy in the atmosphere, then there's nothing for these storms to grow, right? So, and this goes without saying, this is plenty. 4,000 joules per kilogram. That's that's 4 times over the legal limit for these storms. They're drinking way too much at this point. So we're definitely going to have to watch out for Saturday as well. But that is going to conclude it for today's video. Went a little bit longer than I really wanted to, guys. Try to keep the video short from now on. But definitely hit that subscribe button, like the video, comment down below if y'all have any questions. I appreciate the continued support. Like I said, I'm definitely looking forward to this weekend and going out there and chasing. It's going to be a long week. We're going to be setting and planning everything up today and tomorrow, possibly getting into a rental vehicle so that way, don't got to worry about blowing out the windows. But stay tuned, guys. I appreciate y'all, and I will see y'all